दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः उकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We have been looking at the 4th chapter, especially connected with the question of how to understand oneself of free of karma. That is the idea. How to understand oneself of free of karma without being free of karma. You don't have to stop doing whatever one is doing. Neither is it an option to stop. It's not an option to stop. You don't have to stop doing whatever one is doing. But to understand oneself as akarta, not an easy prospect. So we saw how Bhagavan Krishna talked about himself as avatara to illustrate this very point. He talked about himself as avatara. He said, what am I? Ajaha, avyayaha, unchanging I am. Avyayaha, ajaha, unborn. Unborn I am, unchanging I am. And since I am unborn, since I am unchanging, in other words, what does it mean? Whatever I do does not touch me. Namam karmani limpanti. Which verse is that? Number 13? Namam karmani 14. Yeah. Namam karmani limpanti. Name karma phale spriha. Here we get a little bit of an idea. What is that idea? We get a tiny idea of how to accomplish this akartritvam, how to not be killed by doership. In other words, how to not come under the spell of doership. We get the faint little idea there, which is going to be developed in other places. So the idea is this, that nothing in the Bhagavad Gita is without purpose. So the whole Avataravada, from the beginning of the chapter, the declaration, the self-declaration of Lord Krishna as Avatara is not purposeless. There is a meaning and artha there. And what is the artha? That the one who knows the truth of the avatara is freed of samsara. That is the whole point. In the Hindu tradition, we don't worship the avatara because we cannot be like the avatara. That's not the point. The point is the one who knows the truth of the avatara is freed from the shackles of do-worship and receivership, bhoktritvam, being done in by other people's doings and omissions and commissions. So this is what we have to understand. In talking about himself as avatara, Lord Krishna is not being facetious or trying to show off. Hey, look at me, I am Avatara, and what are you? Oh, you poor mortals. That's not what he is saying. What he is saying is very, very clear. Iti mam yaha abhijanati, the one who knows me to be how this is, how I am. And what is the truth of the avatara? Whatever I do does not touch me. Why? The reason is given. Because I'm not interested in the results of action. There is no desire. I don't have any agenda. Whatever I do is what I do. Either I do it for the sake of loka sangraha, whatever is good for the world, or I do it as an answer to the prayers, meaning their own karma phala I give, or I do it because it is part of the certain orders which I have committed to upkeep. The biological order, the anatomical order, psychological orders, the whole universe is Ishvara manifest as orders. So if I have committed to keeping up these orders, all my actions are based on that. Therefore what? Tasya kartaram mam vidhi akartaram avyayam. Even though I can be considered as the doer, the creator and the projector of the universe, essentially I am the non-doer. Essentially there is no doing. Why is there no doing? Because I do not have an agenda for the universe. I do not have an agenda for myself. I do not have the agenda for jivas. So Ishvara based agenda is not there. Oh, let me give some terrible karma phala to somebody and watch the fun. That feeling is not there. And then there is no Jagat agenda either. Jagat has to be just like this, and if it is not like this, I will not tolerate. So I am going to annihilate all these people. That agenda is not there. And then finally, the agenda for specific jivas is also not there. This jiva is pleasing to me, and because this jiva is pleasing to me, extra prasad, no such thing. Extra karma phala, extra punya, no such thing. This jiva is not pleasing to me, therefore extra papa, this is impossible. Why? Because punya papa just unfold based on the karma, not according to the will of Ishvara. And yesterday before I told you that Adi Shankara has coined a wonderful word in the Bhashya. Nairghrinya dosha is not there for Ishvara. He says that in the second chapter itself, Nairghrinya dosha means the fallacies, the defects of hatred and partiality. These two defects do not rest with Ishvara. They may rest with us, human beings, but they are not connected with Ishvara. Human beings means what? The ahankara portion, the anatma portion, that which is the antahkarana, that is what will have all these things. But why will Ishvara not have this ghrina? Ghrina means hatred, partiality. Why not? Because Ishvara doesn't have antahkarana. We have just seen that in the Mundakopanishad. Free of antahkarana and free of mind. Amanaha, free of mind. So therefore free of antahkarana. So when there is no receptacle that can hold various kinds of prejudices, etc., then where will the prejudices be? They will just not be. So therefore, name karma phale spriha asti. There is no, spriha means ichha, desire, agenda. There is no desire at all, no matter what, there is no desire for a specific karma phala with regard to my doings in the universe. The doings just flow, and the motivation or the quickening agent for the doing is what? Is the people's desire. This is why the Jiva's desire brings out this universe. Jiva's karma and the desire brings out the universe. That is how the universe is created. Jivas, the disembodied Jivas who were one with Ishvara, somehow because of Maya Shakti, Maya Shakti means all knowledge for Ishvara and all ignorance for the Jiva. There is a kind of an as though separation, and the Jivas start clamoring for a Jagat to be able to fulfill their desires. This is how the Jagat comes forth, because the Jivas are wanting a playing ground. Actually it's not a merry-go-round at all. It's a sorrow-go-round. They don't know that. And so they say, I have all these desires I want to fulfill. To fulfill the desires, what do I need? I need a body. I need a mind. Plus I need a kshetra. More about that in the 13th chapter, very important word. Kshetra, a field where I can play. This kshetra is important, and so therefore the Jagat is created. We have seen, we have seen this earlier, and also the Upanishads such as the Mundaka, the Taittiriya, etc. will make this very, very, very clear. That there is no desire for rulership on part of Ishvara and or power. So there is no desire for Aishwarya on part of Ishvara. There is no desire for power and rulership. And so since that desire is not there, there cannot be any abuse in the doing, in action. So then, iti yo mam abhijanati, the one who knows this. The one who knows this, not just knows, the one who is able to do this. How is one able to do this? Because of Atma Jnanam. Because of Atma Jnanam alone one is able to do this. Otherwise it is impossible. Anybody who doesn't have Atma Jnanam or is not even striving for it, what is their problem? The problem will be that whatever one does, the karma phala, the result of action, will be up front and center. It will not, that desire will always connect the karma to karma phala, and therefore what happens? There is not a redemption from that. This becomes a chakra, a wheel, a cycle, so to speak, because I do the karma, what happens? Karma phala comes, and then I have the choice whether to disapprove of the karma phala or approve of the karma phala. Actually, it's not really a choice. I most of the time disapprove of the karma phala, and then therefore I want to correct the karma phala. And how to correct the karma phala? Engage in more action. And then the new karma phala comes because of the new action, and one feels bound. This is the jiva's lot. First they pray to Ishvara, let me out, give me a body, give me a playground, let me do all this. And then they pray, let me in, where are you? Please don't play hide and seek. I have a longing for you. I miss you. Come back to me. How could you have left me alone in this unforgiving universe? This is our prayer. And so this is what the whole thing is. To get out of this conundrum, there is only one way, because the bondage being a notion, then the freedom also is notional, because the freedom is already there, the bondage is as though. And so like the story of the cows, that had to be as though tied when the rope in the ashram was stolen by the brahmachari. Remember that story? So then the brahmachari was told by the guru as though tie them, and they all kept quiet. They didn't try to escape. They were very happy, and at night they slept well. The guru slept well. The brahmachari could not sleep at all because he thought the cows would run away. Not a single cow, not even a calf ran away. The next morning he said, come on, let's go to the water. Not a single cow moved. And then he thought, oh, Guru must have put a mantra on them. And then he said to the Guru, please teach me this mantra. Guru said, Idiot, did you untie them? No, but I had never tied them. Or I had as though tied them. Okay, go and as though untie them. So as soon as he pretended to untie them, each one ran towards the water. And so that shows that the bondage is notional, so-called bondage, so-called freedom. And so therefore it is not karma based. Yaha mam abhijanati, the one who knows this about me through a committed pursuit of Vedanta Shastra, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, all the texts. Shastra means all the texts together. That is what Brahma Sutra, whatever it takes to dispel this Atma Ajnanam. The one who knows this is free. Karma bhihi nasalipyate, is also not affected by karma, because becomes what? Akarta. Becomes akarta. Akarta means not a doer. The doership, the disease of doership is dropped for the person who knows the secret of what I am. And what is the secret of what I am? I have not the tiniest bit of agenda for anybody in the universe. I haven't the tiniest bit of an agenda for how the universe should look, nor I have any agenda for rulership, power, etc. This is how, these are all very big important clues for us. How do we get to the place of this Atma Jnanam? The first thing, cut the cord between karma and karma phala in the daily practice. How to do that? We have seen through the practice of karma yoga, where the raga dveshas are kept under check, and instead of raga dveshas, I focus on emotional growth. So we get the first hints of this jnana karma Sannyasa Yoga. This is the name of the chapter. We get the first hints starting with the 14th verse, and then after that it gets very beautiful and little bit terse also, but we will see that. We also looked at the 15th verse. Evam jnatva kritam karma purvaihi api mumukshubhihi Kuru karma eva tasmatvam purvaihi purvataram kritam. Don't listen to me, Arjuna. Look at your own sampradaya. Look at your own lineage. Look at your father, grandfather, great-grandfather, grandmother, great-grandmother. Look at the purvajas. Purvajas means the ones who were there before you. Look at your own ancestors. No wonder you are a shining scion in this beautiful lineage. You shine. Why? Because all their blessings, all their samskaras are with you. And why do you shine? Because you belong to a brilliant lineage of people who did what they were supposed to do and who did not do what they were not supposed to do. Follow them. And then and that is how they gain freedom, meaning this grihastha parampara, which was talked about earlier. Evam parampara praptam rajarshayo viduhu. This is what it is. Grihastha parampara, karma yoga parampara. Not kevalam jnana, not burning the bridges and the boats and then going to Atma Jnanam, going to an ashram and then freaking out, which is sometimes happens. Not that, but what? But continuing to do what you are doing, but subserving the actions in favor of the knowledge, and using the actions as a means for self growth, spiritual evolution, emotional maturity, which are needed for the assimilation of the knowledge of the self. Knowledge of the self needs what? It needs maturity. That's why if we start teaching the Bhagavad Gita somewhere, anywhere outside this ashram, it will not be appreciated, because they are doing their own thing. They are busy. They have to go to work, they have to come back. When they come back from work, there is so many things to attend to. There are children, there are in-laws to be taken care of, grandparents, etc. And there is no time, frankly, and there is no energy either to pursue this. Still, there is a way. Still, there is a way. And that is how we can have, for the people who don't have the time to devote to this full time, there is a beautiful tradition of part-time study. And that is what is called Karma Yoga. So they can be studying as they are doing all their responsibilities, as they are performing their responsibilities, they can study, and then they can also qualify for this knowledge, and they can also gain this knowledge. This is possible, and this has happened. This is what Arjuna is told by Lord Krishna. In fact, this is true also, because once I asked Pujya Swamiji, where are all the jnanis? Where are they? I said, you have gone everywhere. You were in the Himalayas. You have traveled the length and breadth of the whole world. Please tell me, where are the jnanis? I asked, where do you find them most? His answer was very beautiful yet surprising. He said, I see them in elderly ladies who take care of the household. And he said, they usually invite me to dinner. They are all grihasthas. They invite me to dinner. And the husband is sitting, their husband is sitting next to me, and then she is serving, and the husband keeps on talking about Bhagavad Gita or whatever he wants to talk about. I am also nodding my head and listening to him. And when she is serving me, I make eye contact with her, and I know she knows, she knows, I know she knows. This is exactly what he said. It was just so moving to hear that. And she has never gone to an ashram full time. She has not burned the bridges, boats, and then done this. She has, through the dint of her emotional maturity, qualified herself for the knowledge, and the husband, being a scholar, has been listening to it. And then she gained the knowledge, and this is how this is a very important parampara in the tradition. And then this is what you do. There is a wonderful, you are not missing out anything, in other words, by fighting this gruesome war, by fighting this war full of gore and blood and missiles flying all over the place. You are not losing anything. It's a win-win situation. Karma Yoga will never fail you. It's a win-win situation. Therefore, do not have the tendency to just sit quietly as you are doing in the chariot right now. Please get ready for this fight. This is the whole idea, because this is leading you to Jnanam, indirectly leading you and making you ready for this knowledge, Arjuna. This kind of an opportunity is not given for everybody, because this is a no-brainer war. There is not even a whit of difference. There is not even a whit of doubt whether the Kauravas, these people, Dronacharya, etc., Dronacharya, Duryodhana, are in the wrong. There is not even an iota of doubt. Of course they are in the wrong. And so fighting this war is a just war. There is not even an iota of doubt. You will gain so much self-growth as a result of this. All this is not said, but it is said in the Bhashya, and this is what we have to understand properly and to make the connection for the subsequent verses. So then comes the next verse. Kim karma, kim akarma iti kavayaha api atra mohitaha. What is to be done? Kim karma. What is action? What is akarma? What is non-action? Iti, thus. Kavayaha api. Kavayaha means great scholars, philosophers. mohitaha, they themselves are confused. And therefore, tatte pravakshyami, karma pravakshyami. I will tell you what this karma is, and to that we have to add akarma. Akarma cha pravakshyami. Karma cha akarma cha. I'll tell you what is action. I will tell you what is not action. Yajñatva, knowing which you will be free of samsara. Ashubhat mokshyase, you will be free of samsara. Now this doesn't seem like a big deal, this verse. Why? Because look, what is action? Doing something is action. Let me do something, that is action. What is inaction? Sitting quietly, inaction. And so everybody knows that. And how come the philosophers are even confused by this? What is the reason for the philosophers to be confused when even the lay person is very easy for even the lay person to be not confused by this? Even the lay person knows. I know what is action. I know what is non-action. Why I have to listen to Lord Krishna? And how come he says even the people who are what? Philosophers, scholars, erudite people, they are all confused, Arjuna. So therefore I will help you out. I will make you understand what is karma and what is akarma. I will help you understand. Why? Because this is the secret to dropping the shackles of samsara. The confusion is not in doing what is not to be done. That is one kind of confusion we have been seeing all along. But the confusion here is ascribing action where it is not. This is the clue. Ascribing action where it is not. And then seeing inaction as a permanent feature of the ahankara. Ahankara means the I notion. We'll come to that. We'll see that in detail. So this is the confusion. The confusion is not between what is to be done and to be not be done. That is a dharma sankata. That is a sankata means a confusion based on dharma. What should I do? What should I not do? And the third chapter covered all that. Here is a slightly different form of confusion. Let's say a more evolved kind of confusion coming from the immersion. It is a blessing of the immersion into the Shastra. And what is this confusion? The confusion is, what on earth is this thing called action? How do I define action? How do I define inaction or actionlessness? How do I define the two? Because I was told in the beginning of the third chapter that no one can be actionless even for a second. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit karyate hyavasham karma prakriti jaihi gunaihi, I was told. When was I told? In the third chapter. We were told this in the third chapter, in the beginning of the third chapter, 6th or 7th verse it was. And then we were told this. Which number? Please see. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karma krit. 5, yeah, 5th verse. We were told this, that nobody can sit without doing action, even for a second. So now we are talking about what is inaction. No wonder even the scholars are confused. The philosophers are confused. Because on the one hand, Lord Krishna appears to be saying there is no such thing as inaction, and on the other hand, oh, you don't know what is inaction, you don't know what is action, let me help you out. And the key to knowing the difference between action and inaction is the key to getting out of samsara. Actually, if we are told that, we quickly want to know, yes, tell me. Why? Because I want to be out of samsara yesterday, not even today. And so please tell me, what is the difference between action and non-action? And so this is the this is another clue, another hint we get here. The first hint was given in the 15th verse, and then another hint is coming here. And what is the hint? This connection between action and myself, non-action and myself. That is the clue to freeing myself from samsara. That is, we are already getting one more hint. The first hint was earlier given, that the cords between karma and karma phala must be severed. And when I develop a non-interest in karma phala, then when I grow out of becoming a karma phala hog, then what happens? I am naturally interested in knowledge, and I am free. First hint. Second hint is that the understanding of what is non-action is key to getting out of samsara, because getting out of samsara is contingent upon knowing myself as a non-actor. So if I am to discover myself as a non-actor, then I have to know what non-action is. So non-action to non-actor, there is a condition. That is what I have to know. And if I don't know the connection between action and non-action, how will I know that how to be a non-actor or a non-doer? This is something which is important. And so he says the following in the next verse. 17th verse. Karmanaha hi api bodhavyam. Bodhavyam must be known. Tavya. Tavya is a suffix. There are certain suffixes which have the force of an injunction. Tavya is one of them. Kr, to do, plus tavya, then it takes guna, then it becomes what? Kr plus tavya, kartavya. Duty, that which is to be done. Bhuj, to eat, plus tavya, bhoktavya, must be eaten. Budh, to know, plus tavya, bodhavya. But there is no tavya. Yes, because there is a sandhi that has taken place. That is why the tavya is not there. Avya is there. Bodhavya, the ta has become dha there. So, bodhavya means must be known. Meaning there is no option here. This must be known. Maybe in knowing certain other things, there is an option. But here, there is no option. Lord Krishna says, 3 things must be known. Karmanaha api bodhavyam. What are things to be done should be, what is action must be known. Then bodhavyam cha, also must be known. Vikarmanaha, what must not be done must, vikarma means not vishesha karma, no, the prefix vi has many meanings. One is a negative meaning, opposite. Yeah, oppositional meaning is there. So that which is not to be done should also be known. What is to be done should be known, A. What is not to be done should be known, B. And then finally what? Akarmanascha bodhavyam. What is non-action or actionlessness should also be known. Why should it be known? Gahana karmano gatihi. The reason is given in the last pada. Gahana means deep and profound. Also, durvigneya, that which is difficult to know is gahana. Vaishamyat, Vaishamya means like it's difficult to understand. Vishama, it is abstruse, it's abstract, it is vague, it is not clear. Especially for people who don't know Vedanta, it is not clear. For other than Jnanis, for Jnanis it is very clear. For anybody other than the Jnanis, it is not very clear. Therefore, it has to be known, and it has to be known for certain. These three things have to be known. Why? Because the way of karma is very ingenious. Karma is not something which is easy to fathom. Even though you think I am the doer and I am doing all these things, it is not easy to fathom at all. So then, what is the, and then we come to the cream of the chapter 4, a very difficult and terse verse. And before we chant that, a little kind of a introduction to these kinds of verses which we will encounter. And this is, we have to go back to the Mahabharata story. Lord Vyasa dictating the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita, which is inside the Mahabharata. To whom? Lord Ganesha. Lord Ganesha, Lord Vyasa dictating it so fast, Lord Ganesha did not even have time to get a pen. He broke off one of his tusks and sharpened the point, dipped it in whatever that sharpening tool, and then started to stencil on the manuscript. Okay, on the palm leaf, made it a manuscript. And so Ganesha had a condition. I am very fast, and once I start writing, I should not stop. So you should not stop dictating. Otherwise, I'll keep the pen and go away. I'll just leave everything and go away. Vyasa said, you are not the one who is the only one putting conditions. If you put conditions, I can also put a condition. So my condition is this: yes, I will dictate as fast as it takes for you to write, but my condition is that whatever you write, you must understand. If you don't understand, you must not write until you fathom it completely. And so sometimes Vyasa needed a break to compose the next set of verses. So in the Bhagavad Gita, we will find these kinds of very difficult verses, self-contradictory looking verses. One such we have already encountered in the 69th verse of, I think 69 verse of the second chapter. You can check it up. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. 69 is it? Yeah. So 69th verse, again equally confusing. That which is day for the Jnani is the night for the Ajnanis, and that which is day for the Ajnanis is night for the Jnani. And we can imagine cute Lord Ganesha thinking, what does this mean? And then writing it down. Then in the 4th chapter perhaps we have to understand that Lord Vyasa needed a break and then put this verse. 9th chapter again, 2 verses will come. Matsthani sarva bhutani, the 3rd verse of the 9th chapter, and the 4th verse of the 9th chapter, nacha matsthani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaram. Looks like self-contradictory, but it is not. And Vyasa, clever Lord Vyasa, needed a little break, and so he wanted to throw a curved ball to Lord Ganesha so that he would have time to compose the other things. This is the belief in the tradition. Okay, so this is the introduction to this verse that we are about to chant. Karmanya karmayah pashyet akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manusyeshu sayuktah kritsna karma krit. Karmani, in karma, in action, not inaction, okay? In, separate word, action. In action, akarma yah pashyet. The one who sees inaction in action. Even in English it is becoming very, very, very difficult. The one who sees inaction, we should perhaps say non-action, in action. How to see non-action in action? What is this meaning? What does this mean? Wait for it, it's going to get even cleverer. Okay, the next pada says, akarmani, in non-action, karma yaha pashyet, we have to supply. Okay, the pashyet which is in the middle, we have to supply again. Yaha pashyet. So in non-action, the one who sees action. And what was the first part of the shloka? In action, the one who sees non-action, and in non-action, the one who sees action. Then what? What happens to her or him? Saha buddhiman. That person is said to be wise. Medhavin. The one who is full of medha. Medha means grahana shakti, the ability to grasp. Then retention shakti, because we can grasp, and that's but we have difficulty in retaining. So retention shakti, and then what? And the giving shakti, the shakti to give and share it with others. The three together is called medha shakti. Three shaktis in one. The ability to grasp, and then there's all kinds of people in the world. Some of us, we grasp very quickly, but we don't know how to retain. Some of us know how to retain, but not how to share. So all these three things together, grasping Shakti, retaining Shakti, and the ability to reproduce, reproduction of what has been retained and what has been heard, that Shakti together is Medha Shakti. The one who is blessed with Medha Shakti here is called Buddhiman, the wise person. So such a person is Buddhiman. And why is that, and a few more things about the Buddhiman. Manushyeshu Buddhiman. Among all the people, he or she stands out as wise. Such a person is called the wise person. Manushyeshu, among all the people. Saha yuktaha, that person is together. Together means what? It's an American English expression, together. Together means the one who is collected. All the emotions are not all over the place. Collected. This is what is called yuktaha. Together. And in the 5th and the 6th chapters, the word yukta will have an abiding presence. Yukta hara viharascha, yukta karma, yukta swapnavabodhascha, yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Like this, a series of verses highlighting this hero called the yukta will come. So we will have an opportunity to discuss that in detail. But right now, suffice it to say, yukta means the one who has taken the time to collect oneself together. There is a certain integrity about the person. What they think, they say. What they say, they do. So there is a integrity in the thought, speech and action. They are all connected and flow from that space. Such a person is called yukta. This much is enough for now. Okay, and the one who, I can say one more thing, the one who does not blame themselves or blame others for whatever circumstances they have, they go through it cheerfully, yukta. Okay, so yuktaha, naturally if the person is a wise person, naturally they will be yuktaha also, having the appropriate responses to the appropriate situations. And then finally, here's the bombshell, sakritsna karma krit. So not only are they wise, and not only are they emblems of role models to follow for others, they are also kritsna karma krit. Karma krit means the one who has done action. So we can say everybody that we know is a Karma kriti means everybody has done actions. Have we done actions or not? Yes, we have done actions. But then, in the case of Pujya Swamiji and certain other saints, we can say Kritsna Karma Kriti. We can use that expression. Kritsnam means everything without any shesha. Shesha means residue. So Kritsna Karma Krit means the one who has accomplished all that there is to do. Who can say that? Who can say I have accomplished all that I have to do? Nobody will say that. Always there will be some list remaining. Even the Pujya Swamiji used to tell a story of the grandma who was tired of living, and she called Lord Yama. This is a fictional story, not a real story. So from this, he used to tell this story a lot. Fictional stories which was used to illustrate this. And so the grandma one day called out in pain to Lord Yama, I have arthritis, I have all these things. Yama, where are you? Come and get me now. And Yama happened to be in the neighborhood. He had some business there. And then he said, no problem, Grandma, I'm stopping by right now. Here I am. He waved to her from the window. She quickly covered the drapes. She said, fool, Murkha, who asked you to come right now? Don't you see that my granddaughter is getting married? When? He asked. In October. Okay, this is August. Okay, 2 months, no problem. I'll come. I'll come in October after the daughter's marriage, grandchild's marriage. I will come. So saying, he went away. Then the grandma also, so the story goes, forgot all about it. And then October came, the marriage was performed, and as soon as the marriage was solemnized, here is Yama cheerfully saying, come along, Granny, let's go. And she says, I just hate seeing your face. Why are you in my face? Don't you see that my grandson who got married last year, the grandson and the wife are expecting a baby. Now I will be great-grandmother. And great-grandmother is a big thing in the tradition. They keep all the 4 generations together and do abhisheka with water and pieces of gold coins. She said, you want me to miss that out? Go away, off with you. He went, but not before asking, when is the due date? So, due date is, she said, next April. Okay, I'll come back, not a problem at all. So like this, it will keep on going. If Yama came back in April, she will say one more thing. So that means what? Nobody, very rarely, is a person kritsna karma krit. Without Vedanta, nobody can say, I have accomplished everything that I wanted to do. So in America, we have an expression. What is that expression? Bucket list. Meaning even before kicking the bucket. Kicking the bucket means, Ram Nam Satya Hai, before leaving the world. Before leaving the world also, they make a list. I want to do like this. I want to do that. I want to go to visit some place. I want to have this for dinner. I want to be able to eat this. I want to be able to go here, go there. This is called bucket list. All these things. But who is making the bucket list? The person who is 92. Eyes not working, ears not working, muscles not working, hands and legs barely working, but still the bucket list. And we saw also earlier in the Bhaja Govindam, Angam Galitam, the body is melting, osteoporosis, the bones are gone. Palitam Mundam, no hair on the head, hair is gone. And then Dashana Vihinam Jatam Tundam, the jaw is teethless, toothless. And then Vriddho Yati Grihitva Dandam, the elderly person is slowly hobbling along with the help of a stick. I am not saying this, Bhaja Govindam is saying this, okay? Tadapi na munchati asha pindam. Still this big potli means this big, how do you translate it? How do you translate potli? Like this big sack, yes, sack, backpack, sack, huge rucksack, backpack of desires will not come to an end. So desires don't come to an end with age. Desires don't come to an end even if the person is, unfortunately, let's say somebody has had lot of accidents and cannot walk, still the desires will be there. Cannot talk, still the desires, they will write it down and give. Please get me all these things. And so the desires never come to an end. So no one can claim Krishna Karma Kritvam. Nobody can say, very few, at least without Vedanta, no one can say, I am a fulfilled human being because I have accomplished all that I want to do. All my desires have been accomplished. No one can say without Vedanta. But here, this is a wonderful claim made by Bhagavan, which he only can fulfill in the coming verses, where he says, Saha Buddhiman, such a person. Who is this person? Just one thing they have to know. The difference between action and non-action, if they know, then they are called the ones who have achieved whatever they need to achieve in life. So you see, that's what? Kritsnam, complete. Karma Krit, the one who has accomplished everything that needs to be accomplished in life. This is not possible, as we have seen. The desires don't come to an end. So what is the Gudha Bhisandhi? Gudha Bhisandhi means the hidden meaning here. There is an intended hidden meaning here. What is that? Along with Lord Ganesha, we also have to find out this hidden meaning before we can go forward. And so what is the hidden meaning? The hidden meaning is that there is a lot at stake in knowing the difference between action and non-action. Only when I know the difference between action and non-action, then I can classify myself either as an actor or a non-actor. That's the first hidden meaning. Second hidden meaning is that since there is only one thing to know, that means what? Knowing which everything is as well known. Here we go back again, we recycle back to the Mundaka Upanishad. Shaunaka, the sage Shaunaka's question to his guru. Who is the guru? Angiras. Angiras Guru. And he asked, Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijñate Sarvamidam Vijñatam Syat or Bhavati. Knowing what, O revered teacher, knowing what, can everything be as well known, as good as known? Is there a master key to this universe? So I have to know only one thing, then I know everything. Is there some kind of a master knowledge that functions as a key, knowing which, operating which, all my troubles are gone, all my travails are gone. That is what I want to know. Because knowing each and every discrete thing in the universe is not possible at all. Because since the whole universe is an effect of Bhagavan the cause, and we have seen so many times Acharya Swamiji say what? The cause inheres the effect. He has said that many times, and so here too the cause is inhering the effect means what? The cause is Ananta, endless. So the effect in the form of the universe is what? Endless, endlessly finite. Infinitely finite is the universe, infinite in the number of things and number of sights, sounds, etc. But finite. Each one is hopelessly finite, even though the number of things is infinite. So if I start to know each and every discrete thing in the universe, I will need, how many lifetimes? Infinite number of lifetimes. It is not possible to do that. Therefore, all the learned ones like Shaunaka, Shvetaketu, and everyone asked the question, what is it that I have to know? which matters. What is it that matters? Because all these other things are just matter, mithya. They do not matter. They do not matter means they do not free me from this self-imposed jail of samsara, feeling lonely, feeling alienated, feeling that everybody is out to get me, feeling that I am in pain and nobody is there to help. All these feelings, they are a cage of isolation, pain, fear. If this cage has to go, I just need one key. What have I been doing till now? I have been trying to break each bar. I have been trying to cut and break each bar with wrong implements. And then I am a prisoner, and if a prisoner wants to escape, they will try to cut 1 or 2 bars because they know they can never have the key. But here, since it's a self-imposed jail, who has the key? The Guru has the key. Bhagavan has the key. And then that key I want so that I don't have to get exhausted trying to break open each bar of the cage. 1 bar fear, another bar sorrow, 3rd bar anxiety, 4th bar isolation, 5th bar wrong understanding of myself. All these bars. And I break 1 bar and the same bar grows back because that is how it is. And then I try to bend the 2nd bar and then it also is repaired. So I want the key so that I can be out of this jail once and for all. So Lord Krishna gives us a key here, the key to jnana, which is through understanding what is karma, what is action, what is non-action, and knowing the difference between them. This is the translation. We'll get into the verse now. So, action, karmani akarma yaha pashyet. This much we'll take, this first part. Karmani, in action, the one who sees, non-action. So, there is a nice visualization that is given by Adi Shankara to assimilate how to see non-action in action. And if we try to use a human example, it's too close. We are not going to be able to see that. How am I a non-actor? This will never come. This knowledge will never come. So Adi Shankara uses a beautiful imagery from his time. One is going nicely in a boat along the river bank. Okay? And then one is sitting in the back of the boat. And then looking at the trees, the buildings on the opposite river bank. Then when you're not crossing the river, you see you're going along the river bank, okay? So you have to visualize that. So the boat is not going across the river, the boat is going down the river. So then when the boat is going down the river and you look at either of the banks, what do you see? You see the trees moving. You see the buildings moving. You see the whole moving scenario. And especially in contemporary times, if you want to take a video or a photo, it is difficult. You have to hold the camera still and then you have to see that, you have to catch that. And when you try to catch the photo, you are in essence capturing the non-action which is covered by the veneer of action. The trees appear to be moving. The trees appear to be moving, and then the buildings appear to be moving. The temples on the shore of the river appear to be moving very fast. But actually what is moving? The boat is moving. So I have done the eyes have done a certain kind of a transference. What is the transference? The movement of the boat has been transferred on to the buildings and the trees, the flora and the fauna on the bank. This is the transference. I have forgotten that I am moving. And what have I done? On to all the non-moving things, I have transferred the principle of movement. In the same way, the person who does not know Vedanta transfers something onto something else, transfers the movement or actions that belong to Anatma onto the naturally actionless Atma. This is the key to that. Very beautiful bhashya, pages and pages Adi Shankara has written. I'll try to summarize a little bit. We'll see that more in the afternoon class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Today